Hello, it's Alessandra here. I hope you're well and thank you for dropping by, whether for the first time or you're coming back. I'm very grateful. I've just come back from a nice walk in the rain because today is a rainy day. It's a bit cold, but it's still a beautiful day. And I love going out in this time of the year because the leaves are falling on the ground. And these autumn leaves have turned their color into such an amazing array of oranges and browns and bronzes and gold and yellows. And they're just amazing. Now I need to be careful because they get slippery, but I just love it. And it brought back a memory of when I was a child and when it rained, I was like always excited because there would be puddles along the road. And I loved the fact that then I could go out and then I'd put my galoshes on and I just went into these puddles and just splashed them all everywhere. So sometimes these memories come back to me and it just made me feel that energy of that child that was excited about a puddle and putting on galoshes, which I don't normally like now, but at the time I was excited about just going into the puddles. So I think sometimes we need to bring back those energy fields of those memories of the children that we were and the energy of that freedom, of that joy, of whatever it was that was going on. We didn't really worry about anything. We just went with it. And so today I will enjoy the fact that right now it's not about puddles, it's about the beautiful leaves that are falling on the ground. And I still think that the energy that came through with that little girl was very good as well, because I thought that there are two generations of me because, well, two generations, I suppose I can say it that way, two timelines of myself coming together and finding that joy. So on the flow of that, I hope that you find joy in your own life, and maybe a memory will come to you today of something you had forgotten about and will bring back some joy in your life and gratitude. We can do that, we can actually go into the past and pick our memories and then make like a portfolio, because that's what we have in our unconscious mind, or ask the unconscious mind to bring up all those beautiful memories that we have and create a portfolio for us so that we can have a look at them as if they're running in front of us in our mind, and then it will bring up certain memories and you'll just find yourself giggling, find yourself feeling that joy, feeling that laughter. Because that's what happened to me. I was walking around, looking around after if there were puddles, actually. So it was interesting. Now, on the flow of that, I'm just going to do a reading today. I hope it brings forth that laughter, that joy, that interesting aspect of bringing back timelines, because we are able to do that very easily. And maybe it will come through in the cards what we need to do to bring some timelines of the future into the present moment so that we can actually walk towards it much better. So I'm going to use my John Holland. I think I'll do this for the whole week and see what they bring to us. Everything is always in perfect order, but it also depends on us believing in things that we may not be seeing yet, but bringing that timeline into our awareness as if it's already here. So let me see what the card is. Throat chakra. Now, this is the second time in the last 3 or 4 days that the throat chakra has come through. So obviously we're not communicating our dreams. So this card is just reminding us we have to actually express and change the way. So it's a number 5. Sometimes our narrative needs to change, and it's inviting us to do just that. So this is the second time this message has come through. So obviously still there are too many of us frazzled by all the things that are going on around us, and instead of stepping back, as I said, finding a better timeline, we are too engrossed in the narrative of the moment. We're making it bigger by actually speaking about it, thinking about it, impacting us in different ways. And then everybody around us, if you're in a space where there's a lot of drama, of course you're impacted by it. But at the same time, it's about shifting that energy field and saying, well, we need to find hope. In the darkest moment, it's important to find hope, because all the rest, obviously, is difficult to go there. But instead, it's about speaking about hope. Okay, today we're in this dark space, but help is on its way. Hope is that you also trust that there's always the end of a tunnel, And no matter where you are in this journey, no matter what you are experiencing, there is always the end of a tunnel, and there is always better situations coming through. Now, I know that there are many situations right now that you look at that and you go, no way there's anything better from it. But see, if you're the one that is in that situation, then of course you need other things. There are other aspects that are important to you. Communicating your needs, moving away from danger, moving away from things that are not working, but always staying in a space of present moment. So that's what you need to do. But for those onlookers, which we are, everybody else is looking at it, what is it bringing up? If it's bringing up fear of it possibly happening to you, what are you doing? You are creating that narrative. You are creating that narrative that you're fearing, and so you're inviting it in. You're inviting that into your own awareness. So rather than looking at it and saying, well, I hope those people are put into a safe place, that things work out, that this is just a moment, that the fear that we're feeling is just going to sort of end up not being anything. But we need to change the narrative. And if we can start doing it by sending hope to those impacted, then we ourselves will find a place where we're feeling more hopeful. And this is about communicating it, okay? So instead of talking about the negatives, turn it around and see, how is it that we can bring better energy to it? How is it that I can make this not a fearful thing, but something that I'm just looking at right now because it's being created, but that the future moment can present me with better things. So every time there's been uprising in humanity, in certain areas of our history, there's always been a better end after the end of it. So we have to make that possible sooner rather than later by starting to speak of a narrative of hope and sending out love to anyone impacted. But our narrative around our life is very important. Now, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in the global situation, everything is a mixture of energy. Negative energy doesn't bring any good energy, it brings more negativity. If you're in an environment where everyone is in that space of drama, then of course you will be impacted, but you need to rise above it and tell your story and start speaking to people as you want to hear. So bring more hope into the situation. Talk about it as if it's not looking good, but we are sending love, we are sending hope, we're sending our trust in God if you believe in God, but it's always about believing that there is a better moment ahead. Okay, so bringing that timeline in, and rather than seeing the darkness everywhere, starting to see that even the darkness that you are looking at is sort of becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and everybody else is impacting it with a lot of love. Now I'm going to pick another card together with this to see what else comes through, because that was quite strong, and I think we need to communicate what we truly want to see. A lot of people are doing that, even in the darkest of moments. However, for the majority, it's really difficult, so we need to sort of be mindful of that as well. Let me see, I need to put the cards on the side. Challenging times. Okay. So this card here is just making us, and they're 2 5 cards, so it means change and flexibility. So it's showing that we need to shield ourselves at the moment, but not necessarily from the events, but from how we actually are impacting it with our energy. Because challenging times, and the tarot cards are always about the mind and how we impact our daily lives and the future as well with our mindset, with our beliefs, with the narrative that we put out. So why would we want to put out a narrative? Now, we are going through challenging times, but we've already created those by staying in fear of wars repeating, of disaster, starvation, of anything. Even in our personal lives, we do that. So this card here, there are 2 number 5 cards which represent flexibility, change, and communication. So here you change the narrative, and here it's saying at the moment what you're experiencing is very challenging. However, it doesn't mean, see, behind this person who's got a shield right in front of him, there is a light. The only thing that's happening is that the light is behind him, so he's not looking at it. He's just looking what he has in front of him. So he can't see that actually there is something else coming that is much better, because obviously the future is in front of us in a certain way, but for us, because we don't see it, we have to be able to believe it. So it's not present. We're not able to see it. Whereas we can find our past, we go back into the memories. We're not able to see the future, because what we're doing is we're looking at the challenging times. We're protecting ourselves, and we're not able to move away from that if we don't change the narrative. We're staying in that space of negativity, of drama, of, whatever happens, everything is like an obstacle in front of us. Instead, we are now in this space where we are invited to change the narrative through the number 5 throat chakra. Express hope. Express it. It doesn't matter whether you see it or not. Express it. Send love to the places where they've got challenging situations. And instead of bringing them into your own awareness, send hope to them. Send love to those places. Create a narrative and send it out, so that we can actually allow that light that is in this card here to come forward quicker, to move in a direction where we are finding the end of the tunnel, because we are the only ones who can do that. When we say we are at the end of the tunnel, it actually does end. Now, I know that you may not be aware of how powerful our minds are, but in actual fact, we are the most powerful beings, and we don't really know it, okay? So for today, this is a very strong, but I think it's right now there's a tipping point that we need to reach, where more people are sending out hope, changing the narrative, not being drawn into drama so much, staying in the moment, but staying in the moment where we know that after these challenging times, there is a light behind us. We just need to flip it, okay, to allow it quicker. So with this, I'm going to finish off. And I do hope you take it as we're being invited. Through the cards, we are being invited to change the way we think, so that we can actually send out energy of unity and peace around the world, and not look at it as if it's dreadful and it's going to happen everywhere. Just look at it as if you are looking at a movie and you know that you're impacted emotionally, but at the same time, you know that there is a better ending. It's just that we can't see it yet, okay? But we can impact it with our energy. So I hope to see you next time, and thank you for today.